Good evening, Erie County. Post-Halloween, what a snowstorm. Ay caramba. We had motor vehicle accidents. We had trees down. Just a little bit of snow, but it was just so heavy. Corey, you're absolutely right. T-minus 6 days and counting. Steve, Stan, I'm sorry, I got my glasses on. Thanks for the sound check. We appreciate it. That's all he does. That's okay. We're going to take some swings at him tonight. That's fine. See, my swings are based on truth in his own words. He just makes shit up, but that's all right. That's what we do. That's why we call it boots on the ground. Because that's what we do. So we got 7 people according to the to my little viewer checklist. I appreciate that. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Hey, Kim. I got a boo-boo. I had to go to the doctor today, and I had a little bump there that was a little concerning, and they numbed it up. They took a slice off it, so now I have a little hole in my face. But the doc said, well, yeah, we'll send it out for to check it and make sure it's okay. We got to do that. We got to pay the bills. Because now look at this. This is one of Brenda's custom tumblers, and I have a county council meeting tomorrow. Of course, I will proudly take it. I will proudly use it there. And but yeah, see, look at it. It's it's a flag with diamond plate. It's got the county seal on it. Boom. Like I said, we got to pay the bills. Yeah, 6 days. We're rocking and rolling it. I got to tell you. Yeah, they take swings at me all the time. Whatever, dude. You want to make it that dirty. This is going to go down in one of the dirtiest elections in Erie County history. His PAC has shoveled, I don't know, I heard a rumor like 40 grand, $40,000 they've spent against me for a $10,000 a year job. So why is that? Why would they do that? Why would this Democrat PAC care so much? It's about control. They want to shut Javis down. They don't want any wins. They don't want us to have any wins because they're so mad that the Democrats lost control of county government with the county executive, and then they lost control on county government with only 3 Republicans. Why? Because the Democrats said, hey, you know what? We're going to give Schenck the shot at this job. And then you know what we did? We did it twice. Chairman, twice. It's never been done in history. So, Well, of course Copeland's going to go after everybody because he's just this carpetbagger that lives in the city. He has no platform than ultra left malarkey, and that's all his base is. So he's got his marching orders from the Grand Poobah Jimmy Wirtz. Speaking of Jimmy Wirtz, I was online, and this little article popped up about meet your candidates, blah blah blah. I didn't even see who wrote it. So I'm flipping through it, and it's like making, my opponent like, oh, he's just like floats because he's like a god. He's a businessman. And of course it was about, then of course I read my section. It was like, Shank is an election denier. Shank is this and he's that and he's this and he's that. Hey, Julie. And it's like, who wrote this piece of shit? Drexel's a businessman. Man, his name is not Verizon. He works for a cell phone company here in Erie. He's not a businessman. Nice try, Jimmy. It was Jimmy Wirtz who wrote the article. I'm like, duh. No wonder it was a hack job on Shank, and it was praising, I think I'm going to call him Mr. Pretzel. Yeah, Mr. Pretzel. Because he's got no platform. He's got nothing to stand. Only thing they stand on is anything that's against Shank or Davis, and they wrote he wrote he's part of the insurrection, and they're running commercials on YouTube. Why? Because they got $40,000 to try to buy a $10,000 a year job. So what it's about control. It's about the fact they hate the fact that they are not in charge. And just to let you go, every once in a while, I'm going to look over here. That's because we are on YouTube Live. I got camera 1, camera 2. They're both right here in front of me. Boop. But it's I'm working on YouTube also to get that channel up and running. Got the cameras fixed in, got them tuned in a little bit better. The new camera was a little fuzzy, and the quality was a little low. I went into preferences. Oops, I had the quality set way too low, and the camera on way too wide angle. So we've got that tuned in, dialed in. So I'm just glancing at my other screen. I don't have a way to split screen them, but Mr. Tobin, thanks for coming by. So this hit piece that was done by the Grand Poobah himself, Jimmy Wirtz, was just nothing but a hit piece on me, and it was praising, Mr. Pretzel as like he floats on air. You want to hear some really fun stuff? Not my words. I don't play that game. I don't make shit up. I just use their words against them. Go to my Facebook page. Joe Natale recorded a 20-minute session with every candidate. Same questions, same everything. So that way you could standardize the quality of candidates. And, and of course, I listened to Mr. Pretzel and to see what he had. And I was just shocked. What was it? It was a hit piece on Jimmy Wirtz. I'm sorry, and Jim Wynorski. I apologize. Councilman Jim Wynorski. Mr. Pretzel has signed. He's come, to the best of my knowledge. I could be wrong, but I don't look for him at every meeting because he's never there. So he shows up to one of our caucus, and our caucus starts at 5:00, and that's right before the big main meeting. So Pretzel shows up. He's sitting in the back of the room, and Jim Wynorski had some questions for the librarian. And the librarian, the director, she has okayed and is thumbs up this project with Gannon University, the Erie County Library, and with Project Resolve. It's a win-win. So what does Mr. Pretzel say? He's like, well, I was listening to that, and all those questions sounded like they were rehearsed and they were staged and fake, and yeah, what? The guy shows up to one meeting and he's all knowing. Oh, I'm surprised he hasn't gotten sainthood. So Jim Wynorski was asking the director of the library about result. Well, is it gonna cancel any services? Is it gonna hurt anything? Are we gonna move any? All these questions were really solid, and they made sense. So the director answered them honestly, like she is. She's a great lady. I'm telling you, I've known her and worked with her professionally enough. If she didn't like this project, she would have never okayed it. It's that simple. Yeah, she works for Breton, but you know what? She works for the people of Erie County, and she was hired to do the job. And it's funny how her and Mary Rennie used to be friends. They're not friends anymore. Wow. Yeah, Mr. Well, Anna, thanks for stopping by. You're on time. He's not a rubber stamp. He's just a puppet, typical Democrat on the puppets of the strings of the masters. This guy was saying that the director was basically lying. And wow, you come to one meeting, you've decided to run for office, you have a huge Democrat PAC paying your bills, and now all of a sudden you're all that. Listen, we've heard you speak. You're not all that. Nice try, nice spin, but he's calling it, and it's funny. On county council, what do we got? We got 4 Democrats, 3 Republicans, and he's saying it's rigged. He doesn't even think before he speaks. So I know we have some we have some people in here that I pretty much know everybody so far. I get it, but there has been haters, and what they do is they go back and they rewatch the show, and they just pick it apart. Anything we say positive, they rip it apart. That's okay. We can play that too. But it's just good to be done. He showed up on my street to door knock, and there's like every other yard has a Shank sign in it, and of course, he called you rubber stamp, Brett, and no public input. Yeah, like he would even know what that word even is. He's, up until he ran for election, never came to a meeting. He's like what, 6'9". He kind of sticks out. He was never even at a meeting, but he's being told what to say. And it's funny because when Jimmy Wirtz was writing his little hack piece, Shank's an insurrectionist, Shank's an election denier, Shank is this, Shank is that. Oh, but Mr. Pretzel, he's all that. And he's this and he's that. He's a businessman. He graduated from Gannon University. And you sell cell phones. Okay. Have fun with that. And you live with your in-laws. So, you want to play tit for tat, bring it on, big boy. I am not scared. I've jumped out of a perfectly good airplane. I've stared killers in their eyes. You think I'm intimidated? You got another thing coming. But, the EMS thing. And see, and thanks for bringing that up. I am set dead. I've been in the paper. I've been on the news. I was in a WQLN documentary stating I do not support the EMS authority. I don't, but they just keep saying the same thing over and over again. The truth's irrelevant. So that eventually the Democrats that don't like me, oh my God, look at that. Shank doesn't support the man. Where were you at 2:00 in the morning last night, Mr. Pretzel? You were curled up in your Spider-Man pajamas while I was out cutting trees down off the road in the middle of that storm last night. And where were you today? Selling cell phones today? I was out here in a crime scene helping PSP out here. What have you done for your community? Nothing. You sit in your in-laws' house. You don't pay property taxes. You don't pay school taxes. But you target me. 2:00 in the morning, we get a call. Boom, motor vehicle accident. Well, that's what we do. Boop, tree down. That's what we do. Yep, another tree down. That's what we do. But the Democrats, all they can do, only platform they have to stand on is nothing but hate. Hate, hate, and hate. Dude, you can hate me all day long. When I'm done with the show, I'll curl up on my pillow and go to sleep. Because you know what? I serve my community. I did it well today. We worked as a team. We had a tough gig today. I can't go into details. We helped PSP out here in Harbor Creek with a situation. And, I don't get paid to stand out there. I don't. Do I get to stand there and get paid, and people yell at me because they have to go around the block. Sorry, because the road's closed. 2:00 in the morning, a tree fell down in one road over. We're out there pulling trees off the road, But that's what we do. But it's easy to sit in the in-laws' house and bitch and complain and say, Shank is this, Shank is that. Well, you know what? I'll put my resume up to yours any day. And you know what? We know the numbers. We got the numbers back. The numbers are good. No, they're actually not good. They're great. I was shocked. I knew we were ahead. I just didn't realize how far ahead we were. How's he going after the election? But it's rigged. It's false. It's fake. It's Shank's on the board of elections. He's got a rig put in on it or something. Man, I'm not on the board of elections. When you go candidate, you come off the board of elections. So, we can't rig anything. He's got nothing. Kim, you're going to clean his clock. The numbers come back. We're looking good on that. I'm not worried. He got his ass handed to him in the city once before. He's going to get handed him again, and that's Jimmy Wirt's boy. Don't you think that you talk about rubber stampers? Wow. You want to accuse me of being a rubber stamper when I've told Brenton Davis no. And it's funny. Shank's rubber stamping Davis. Yeah. Who's got a lawsuit against Davis right now? Erie County Council. Who's the one you think that signed the paperwork to authorize that lawsuit? This guy. So go ahead and say, you're Shank's boy, you're Davis's boy, you're his lapdog, you're rubber stamper. I tell you what, nothing like says, yeah, I disagree with you, and going to court and saying you're wrong. Or being on a WQLN documentary. Yeah, I don't agree with you on the CMS. But see, these are the tactics that they have to implement because they've got nothing. They've got no substance. These people, Drexel's never even been to a fire department. The only time he's been to a fire department is when he's on that campaign trail. He came down to my fire department, like he owned the place. Oh, I like to buy a membership. Dude, you didn't even know where it was until you ran for office. So nice try. Then he sends his little henchman out and about, hey, Shank, how's it going, buddy? My buddy. The shit you talk about on social media, I don't even know how you look me in the eye. I'd be embarrassed. All the bullshit that one of his little minion henchmen runs around saying on social media. Dude, put down the social media and do something. Wow. But I got it. No, I didn't. I said Mr. Pretzel. Mr. Pretzel. Got to pay the bills. Here's another one. It's another one of Brenda's Creations, Second Amendment. I know the Democrats will be like, oh, Shank's promoting the Second Amendment and all his gun buddies. So this is one of Brenda's tumblers. Does a great job. All right. Now we're gonna call him. You call him Dexter. I call him Pretzel. That's okay. But this is why we tell you people, pay attention. Don't listen to the hype. And they're playing their bullshit commercials on YouTube. $40,000, folks. This is what they've spent for this seat. For 40 grand? That's a bad investment. Oh, that's right. It's about power, because that way they can go in there and project their agenda. Like, I don't know, making everything, a sanctuary. We got a sanctuary city. Why not have a sanctuary county? And, and we need to put the diversity, equity, inclusion into the budget. We're already $12 million upside down. So let's add a little bit more. Let's put the library, the community college in there. And why don't we just make it a nice $20 million deficit? So you get, I don't know, maybe a $200 a year tax increase. That's all this is tax and spend. This is all it comes down to, is they want the power. They want to get into your pocket and take what's yours and give it to somebody else. Classic Democrat play. But what's funny? I am blessed to live out here because Harbor Creek, it's a good mixture of red and blue. It really is. I had people stop me all over the place. They're like, who is this guy running against you? And what is this crap they're putting on YouTube that you were January 6th? Lies and deception. That's the only thing they can't. That's the only thing they got. They can't come after you a frontal. They won't debate you. He literally walked by me to say hi to Terry Scatella, the Democrat. I'm like, wow. I guess when you're that tall, you don't have any manners. I don't know. Or if you're from Florida, you don't have manners. And it was funny. Copeland's a keyboard hero, talks shit on social media all day long about me, but he wouldn't even look. He wouldn't even look me in the eye the other day at the courthouse. He was walking, had his head down. He looked up. Hi, Brian. Looked back down. Because you talk shit all day. Because they want my head on a stick. But man, I'm telling you, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to Tuesday and just gloat my ass off. And you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to gloat. And the mailers are out. Mailer 1 was sent out. Mailer 2 sent out. I'm not sure when mailer 3 will be sent out. Nice, clean, to the point, what we're doing, where we're going, how we're going to do it. I read one of his. It's just all anti-shank. I love the fact I get to park in Pretzel's head for free. Well, when you're getting $40,000 from a dirty pack from outside of Pennsylvania or out of Erie County, his expense reports are it's all online. It's all PAC money. He's embraced it. He just Chris Drexel, Mr. Pretzel. This is my PAC. Well, yeah. Guess what? You know what? You sell your soul to the devil. That's fine. But wait till he comes for payment. Kim, we know it. We've known he. That's why this whole you guys was a setup. There was no real debate. Listen, just because the kids at the college didn't put it right, I sent the flyers, and I'm not thinking that Mr. Ford would have authorized it if it wasn't a debate. I've got the emails to prove it. And the proof is in the pudding. He can talk shit all day long. I've got the emails. They weren't going to show because you can go on my Facebook and listen to Drexel's presentation. And, of course, it was just about how we're doing everything wrong. And, this lease should have been an ordinance and should have been done that way for more clarity. I talked to him afterwards. I said, hey, buddy, do you realize there's a difference between an ordinance and a resolution? And if you were actually paying attention to the meeting, the attorney explained that to Mr. Hort, because Mr. Hort's like, this has got to be an ordinance. Shouldn't be a resolution. Oh, they're just trying to jam shit through. Hey, Mr. Solicitor, would you like to chime in on that? Yes, Mr. Chairman, just to let you know that this does qualify for a resolution because it's not allocating any money. Hey, Mr. Pretzel, might want to learn what a difference between a resolution and an ordinance is, and when you can use them and when you can't use them, and when the Democrat solicitor even agrees with it. It's just another argument point. Well, see, they don't know what they're doing because they should have wrote an ordinance, not a resolution. Okay, Verizon boy, just to let you know, yeah, according to the the solicitors, the people that actually went to college to know this and been there for a long time, explain when you're allocating money to give to somebody, that has to be an ordinance for transparency and making sure everybody looks at it and has time. So you have a first read, a couple of weeks later, you have a second read, you have a discussion, and then you have a roll call vote. The resolution was approving the lease. No monies. We did not allocate money. We didn't spend taxpayer monies. It didn't go that way. So he's up there just running his mouth live on Facebook. Yeah, there should be a difference between a resolution and ordinance, and they don't even know the difference. Dude, you don't know the difference because we have a solicitor sitting right in front of me, and I leaned over. Hey, Tom, what's your input on this, buddy? Well, Chairman, got you again, Mr. Pretzel. Again, you just make shit up as you go because you have zero clue what you're doing. I don't know where selling cell phones makes you, Mr. Smarter than, two solicitors were sitting there. We had our solicitor and our deputy solicitor, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so it's been an interesting last week. We know they're going to come after us with both guns. I don't really care. I'll come on social media every night and plow him into the ground. Doesn't matter to me. I don't see him doing a Facebook Live. Everything he does, he tears my signs down and puts his signs up there. I'm like, really? Wow. Okay. Well, a friend of mine owns the car wash on McClellan. I put a sign up, they tear it down and put a pretzel sign up. The other day they tore my sign down and put a Fetterman sign up. So they must be running out of signs. So, we had a lot of our big signs ripped down. I know Kim's had a lot of her small signs taken. So yeah. I mean, and that's the only tactic they have. I saw one out the other day. They ran it over. They were over here by Country Fair. They ran that over. So, fortunately, the homeowner is a good friend of mine. We all went to Harbor Creek, Mr. Pretzel. We're from here. We're not a carpetbagger that basically got run out of town. I'm just saying. Do I need to go get the paper off the shelf again? They like running stuff through the dirt. Man, mine's way dirtier than yours. The stuff we got on you, Mr. Pretzel. Yeah, I mean, in Copeland, like I said, he's a one-time loser. Pretzel loves to say, "Well, Shank ran for sheriff. He didn't win. He's a loser." But then in the same breath, he's like, "Shank's going to run for sheriff, and he's going to leave the people of District 5." Could you please make up your lies a little better? I mean, yeah, okay, I ran for sheriff. It's hard to take out the seated deputy. It's hard. He was a captain. I got no beef against Campanelli, but that's politics, and just like Mr. Pretzel's going to learn here in T-minus 6 days what a loss tastes like. We've already got the numbers back. Maybe if you weren't buying so many hate ads on social media and actually paid to the polling numbers, oopsie, no Halloween shenanigans on the big sign. I think it cost them a tire, because if you go look at the pictures I posted, you can see where their tire was spinning. So I think they hit it. And of course it's put together with good solid deck screws. I think they took a deck screw to the tire. That's a shame. Again, cheap promotion of my lovely wife's tumblers. She made that. I'll take that to work tomorrow. I have another one here. She must have taken it. That was a good one. That was funny. But he's going to get spanked by Shank the Tank. Oh, that was another one they came after me with. They were like, well, yeah, Shank has to make up his own nicknames. Dude, I didn't make that name up. I stole it from Mr. Pretzel and his minions, because they had T-shirts made up. Tank the Shank. Hashtag tank the Shank. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I can flip that right over and make it a hashtag Shank the Tank rolling to victory. They're like, oh, yeah, Shank, look at that. He's desperate. He has to make his own stuff up. No, I stole it. I stole it from you guys because it's Tank the Shank. Nah, I'm going to Shank the Tank. We're gonna roll a victory November 7th. I had an email from the Board of Elections, and I think they know it's going to be a low turnout, so they know they're probably going to they'll have results done by 11:30, which is good. Stan, that's funny. I know, spanked. I know. I had a T-shirt. I made a T-shirt up. Have you been shanked today for Shank for Sheriff? Oh my God, the Democrats had Shank's promoting violence. I'm like, Jesus, man, lighten up, Francis. If you that's from the movie Stripes. Remember, the guy was like the psycho killers. They're like, lighten up, Francis. Man, that's what I tell these people. They need to lighten up because it's ridiculous. His minions and his little little stormtroopers, because that's what they're using is, Gestapo tactics. They tear your signs down, they pull your signs out. I had some signs at the trestle at Harbor Creek. They took those down. Every time I come up with a great idea, they got to tear it down. And I always put one in the I always put it in the on Cooper Road by Wintergreen Gorge. I made a frame and I screwed to an old stump. Well, of course, they tore it down and they put one of his signs up. I'm like, you know what? I'll make another one. I'm retired. I don't have to go make sure I sell a couple extra cell phones this week. Well, it's not like you pay taxes or anything. You just live with your in-laws. But hey, what do I know? So yeah, I mean, I'll just make another frame and I'll put another sign up there. It's no big deal. But let's talk about Election Day. It looks like maybe a little rain, but it's going to be warm, so that's not too bad. We need people to help us at the polls. We need Kim needs people to help her at the polls. Just hold a sign, hand some pamphlets out. No big deal. It's really, really important to be there in the morning when they first open up. It's important to be there at lunch, and it's important to be there in the afternoon. Now, you don't have to stay there all day. Take a break, go get warm. Go get something to eat. We're not slave drivers here. I mean, I've had that spot for years, but of course, Mr. Pretzel, like, oh, that's a great idea. Or one of his minions or stormtroopers tear it down and put their sign up there. Really? I mean, people of Harbor Creek notice this stuff. They know who I am. Other than, Mr. Pretzel and his group of minions, people actually like me. I actually beat Kyle Faust last year. The sheriff race, that was tough because they put a $250,000 bounty on my head. Mayor Bloomberg from New York. That should be so illegal. These PACs should stay out of elections because all they're doing is just, just making it dirtier. And that's fine, and if that's the type of election you want to win, you're not going to win. And if you do, man, you are a dirty SOB for cheating. Cheaters never win, winners never cheat. Shoot me. Yeah. I mean, we're just having a small little get together, watch party, Taco Tuesday. I sent out invitations with the details. Yeah, that's exactly what it was too. And it was a gun safety coalition of New York for Mayor Bloomberg. Bullshit. All that was a gun grabbing, anti-gun Second Amendment. And of course, I was on some national talk shows. I was interviewed with some national sheriffs that were constitutional sheriffs, and that's why they hate me. Hate me because I stand up for the Constitution. I was ready to go to jail with the city of Erie. We locked horns with them. That a city ordinance cannot supersede the Constitution. It can't. It's illegal. You're not allowed to do it. But here's the city of Erie. We're just going to write a city ordinance that violates the constitutional rights. And nobody tested it. Well, we did, and we won. We won that in the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. The Pennsylvania judges said, "Hey, city of Erie, come here. I'll tell you a little secret. You guys might want to read the Constitution. Yeah. Shall not be infringed." But Democrats hate it. So that's priority one, why they hate Shank. Shank speaks the truth. I don't have to sit at home and be a keyboard hero. I don't have to sit in my in-laws, house and don't pay taxes or like everybody else. But then they're bitching and moaning about raising your taxes because if I don't get elected and Mr. Pretzel gets elected, he's gonna push to add the community college and he's gonna add diversity, equity, inclusion to a line item and try to push it through. That will trigger an automatic tax increase. Another one, because when will the city of Erie pay for their own services? The Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Commission is to help minorities, okay? But they're only helping minorities in the city of Erie. And just kind of like breaking news, there are other minorities that live in Erie County, not just in the city, but all they're doing is just putting all this money. And it's funny, Andre and the gang, they pushed against economic development. They hate it. Pushed, that's not what we do. We're here for social services. We're here for people. Blah, 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 blah. What does diversity, equity, inclusion do? They write grants to minorities to buy businesses, to do storefronts, to upgrade whatever's. It's economic development, but it's okay because that was a Kathy Delkamper project. And they're just mad that, Kathy Delkamper promised them $10 million. We cut it back to 3.5. And now a couple years later, they're asking for more. They blew through that money already. $3.5 million. They spent $1.5 million and spent nothing. I know I've used this line before. They didn't even buy a paintbrush. They didn't give one grant out for over a year and a half. The only grants they tried to do is give them to each other. The director and assistant director, they try to give their nonprofits grants. But then they want the people of Erie County to pay for it. Hey, Gary Lee, I told this right to his face. When are you going to start spending some money out in the county? We're working on it. I haven't seen a dime, but I would highly suggest it. It's just like in Northeast. We're proud to announce that we got the borough of Northeast, $250,000 to finish a sewer project. Copeland's online. Well, Shank, you don't know how much it's going to cost to people. Hey, bro, I'm telling you, I didn't ask them, hey, you guys want $250,000? You guys want some money? I didn't go out there and say, hey, I got all this ARPA funding money. I gotta burn holes in my pocket. No, they came to us and said, we really want to get this project off the ground. We have some prime real estate that needs developed, but we can't do it without sewer. What can we do? Well, we pass gap funding for everybody. See, that's what they're pissed about. They're pissed about the fact that it doesn't go to the city. And Copeland's been on record all the time. Well, the county needs to spend some more money in the city. Bullshit. That's easy to say when you ran for city council and lost, and you're going to run for county council and lose. Then you're not going to get to be able to try to manipulate more money into the city. We gave them over $6 million of our ARPA funding. $6 million, I think that's the number. What did the city of Erie give to the county to help the county out with? Zero. Nothing. Okay. The argument is, well, Brian, you realize, there's 3 districts represented in the city of Erie. Okay, that's fine. You got $6 million, man. That's $2 million per district. Those little tiny districts got $2 million to do the math. We try to write some funding to specifically be used in the county. Andre Horton came unglued. You can't do that. That's not fair. We're spending money. This is Erie County. We got to spend money everybody. You can't make it. Well, it's funny when we're putting money into the city, you don't mind. But we're asking for a little bit of money out in the county. We can't do that. That's crazy talk. Right. Fortunately, the county has not put a dime out of the general fund into the community college. Their timing was perfect that they've been getting paid through ARPA funding. The ARPA funds. Well, that's running out. We have the 26 suspended. We clawed some back. That's why we didn't give diversity, equity, inclusion $10 million, because that's $10 million that would have been taken out of play for the people in Northeast. They wouldn't have got their project because it would have been all in diversity, equity, inclusion. And they would have been walking around in the city just handing it out like a bag of peanuts. No, county council needs to spend money in the county. West County, what did they ask for? To help them with their sewers. What did East County? What did they ask for out in East County? Help us with our sewers. They're not asking for, park benches and new trees. They're asking for things that make their community better. And that's why we do what we do. Then, of course, Copeland and his little minions running around. Well, look at that. It's all political. They're just making it so they can get reelected. You know what, dude? You lost horribly. A Democrat, you lost horribly in the city of Erie, which is almost impossible to do. I mean, you've got to be a real special something to lose as a Democrat in the city, because that's all they hire, a city. Oh, you're absolutely right, and that's exactly what it is. It's all about, they want it for their district. They want it for BIPOC. They want it for the black people. They want it for the brown people, Puerto Rican. And it's funny, Andre came up with a list of minorities. It's amazing how many new Americans didn't get put on that list. Mind-blowing how he decided who's a minority or not. And that's why they want my head on a stick. That's why they spent $40,000 to take me out. That's why they lie, cheat, steal, pretzel, just make shit up as he goes. I spit on people at a Black Lives Matter rally. Never was there. Just like Jimmy Wirtz was writing this thing about all the people running. Man, Shank's an election denier, and he voted for this. And Mr. Drexel, he's a saint, and he's saved millions of lives, and he's a businessman. What? I wanted to throw up, literally throw up. And then I scrolled back up to see who wrote it. I'm like, oh, duh, Jimmy Wirtz. Like, he's going to give me an honest shake. He was mad. We told him no. He wanted seven drop boxes, one for every district in Erie County. That's what we want. We want a drop box in every district. No. Told him no. Yeah. Well, you're right, Lance. Once the money's gone, he figures he can levy them tax. Well, here's the kick in the teeth. Andre's lame duck. He's on his last term. And, he's got a little bit of short time left on that. So, he wants something bigger and better. What did he do? He ran against Senator Laughlin. And, it was Andre Horton and Julie Slomski ran against Dan Laughlin, the two Democrats. They fought it out. Slomski won the primary. I think they spent like $1 million on that primary. I think the $1 or $2 million they spent on that. Again, PAC money, big PAC money coming in from out of town to prop up these Democrats. And it proves you can't buy an election. It helps. And the numbers do help out when you can buy, pay for all the hate ads of Shank superimposed at the Capitol steps building. If it was actually a good Photoshop, I would be like, okay, it's a pretty decent Photoshop. I think a little person with their smartphone could have done a better Photoshop. Shank voted for Doug Mastriano. Okay, he was the Republican. I can just see if I would have went with the other guy, they would have stolen my Hummer and dragged me through the fields of my Hummer. If I voted for Shapiro, the guy that arrested nuns for going to church on Sunday, which is the core of why we are who we are and why we said, you know what, King, we're not doing this anymore. We want freedom of religion, taxation with representation, we the people, First Amendment, Second Amendment. It's amazing. I got about 50 copies of the Constitution. Anybody needs one, just say, hey. Oh, absolutely. Well, like Brenton Davis, when he ran for county executive, what's his face that ran against him. That wasn't local money. There was some local money, but there wasn't a lot of local money. That was all big PAC money from California. The LGBTQ people wrote checks because they wanted, Tiffany Titus, Taylor, whatever his name is, in that office, because it would be the highest elected transgender, whatever they are, person in office. They spent a lot of money. Didn't work out. Wrong message. That might work in Seattle and it might work in San Francisco. It doesn't cut it in here. Even your hardcore Democrats are like, I'm not voting for Titus. because they don't like them. Yeah. Yeah, I know. And I get that. And that's why we've done the show. That's why we do the radio show. That's why we're on YouTube on camera 1, Facebook Live on camera 2. That's why we do this. That's why I do it. That's why I take the political heat. Because the haters, they watch the show, they pick it apart word by word, and like, that's what Chegg said on social media last night on his podcast. Yeah, make yourself think. Get out and vote. We only had 20% of the local Republicans in Erie County get out and vote. I have stomped. I have screamed. I have driven my truck 1,000 miles, talked to 1 million people. Got to get out and vote. You know, if you wanted to do mail-in ballot, if you don't like it, that's fine. Since they kind of got them under control and putting some checks and balances in there, and I know I can't speak for Philadelphia. I don't speak for Pittsburgh. I know in Erie County, they run a tight ship. And you can come down. All you got to do is sign up. They'll let you come down. Watch the process. If you don't think it's true, if you don't think it's real, sign up, come down, and watch. It's all the scanners are in a glass room. We call it the fishbowl because it looks like a fishbowl. And you can watch the staff scan. No one's walking around with suitcases. Nobody's walking around playing with Sharpies out on the floor. We spent a fortune renovating the actual election office. So everything is in one room. So no one's walking around with, trays of ballots down the hall. And when we did that, I escorted every tray that went from the opening room to the scanning room. I personally put my eyeballs on every tray that moved from one room to the other. Okay, that doesn't work because it's a lot of work. So Gino, did you bring cannolis? You better brought some cannolis. I'm just telling you. I hear all your Italian stuff with the Natali show. Where can I get a good cannoli in this town? I'm just asking. So we renovated it. We took out the walls, Stan, you're absolutely right. Of course, like always, I know your mother's proud of you. We renovated it. We bought secured shelving that the trays come out. They're steel. I mean, you'd have to take a bolt cutter to them and you put them back in the rack. And then there's a pin. It all gets locked up. No one's doing any voting. No one's doing any scanning at 2:00 in the morning. No one's walking through the courthouse at 2:00 in the morning with suitcases. There's no trucks pulling up to the back dock. That's not how we do it. A guy asked me on social media, "Hey man, how you guys do this?" Give me a call. It's about a 10-minute conversation. Well, we've been talking for 48 minutes on what we do. Wegmans really has good cannolis. Wrong side of town. I'll have to take a ride up there, I guess. So we pushed for more cameras. Stop the presses. The Democrats were like, no, we can't do more cameras. We can't do more cameras because that's invasion of privacy. It's a courthouse. It's the people's building. There is no privacy other than the bathrooms. The deputies watch everybody through the halls. They watch outside. They watch the parking lots. So we added more cameras, one on the drop box, and then we put cameras inside the areas where the workers work. I know. You're going to make cannolis? Yeah. So, yeah. Listen, we all work together. I am my own person. And this is where we need to stop. We need to stop with the rhino calling. We need to stop. Just because we disagree on an item doesn't mean we're a rhino. That just means we have a different opinion. Do I agree with Dan? Absolutely not. Does he call me up and say, "Hey, Brian, hey, man, I'm just trying to get a feel. What's East County thinking on this?" I said, "Dan, they don't support you on this one. The people I know, the people I talk to. So, yeah, I don't do, oh, yeah, Dan, yeah, it's a good idea. No, Dan, that one sucks. I don't like it. I don't do it." So I am the boots on the ground guy in East County that listens to the people, unless you're, one of Mr. Pretzel's minions, go tear a sign down, or whatever, and we'll get through there, Right? See, the wife says she'll buy the cannolis. All right, I see. I just got a sweet tooth for a cannoli. I don't know. I see Gino show up. Let's talk cannolis. It's the Brian Cannoli Gino show, where we're talking about who's got the best cannolis in Erie. No, I'm just kidding. It's just the classic Wednesday night get together. It's crappy out. No one's out riding their bikes, I don't think. Maybe you're outside doing a fire, but it's Wednesday night and it seems to work well. And people seem to like this time frame. The kid, you got your dinner done. You're sitting with your coffee. If you're Gino, you got a cannoli and a nice Italian espresso, and let's just talk. Let's have a podcast. We are camera one. We're on YouTube. Camera two, Facebook Live podcast, and it's kind of catching on. It really is. I mean, I've been watching the stats, and I was excited when we were pushing 500. I went through the stats on our last week's show. We're pushing 700. Even with my big boo-boo. You guys still love me. See, I'll just turn the video off. You don't even see my ugly face. You just want to hear my words. But, yeah. But we do the show to motivate you. We do the show to get you fired up. I talked to a lot of people after the Trump election. Oh, I'm disenfranchised. My guy didn't win. Whoa, I'm sad. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, boo. Wrong. Get pissed off. Get motivated. Get up. Go vote. If your friend needs a ride, go take an extra 15 minutes. Go pick your buddy up so they can get a ride. The Democrats sponsor buses. Republicans don't. And these are the little details that gets us in a lot of trouble, is the fact that we're not user-friendly. Big controversy moving the headquarters onto Peninsula Drive. I agreed with that because we're bringing it closer to the people. Well, the argument is, well, what about the people south of here? They won't come in. They don't come in anyway. But the majority of the people live, not in Mill Creek, but at least I think it's more centralized. I agreed with that big move. Okay, we did that right. Other things, we kind of messed up. We really messed up. We always do the rally before the tally. They tried to fix something that wasn't broken and make it a car show at the end of October. No one brings their bikes out the end of October. Bad idea. Failed horribly. They had to cancel it. So that sucks. Watching the last one. Yeah, it's really complicated, and people's like, well, it's not transparent. We don't sign up. All you got to do is go online and take a little training, and you can come down. I mean, Cliff Smathers, he is the co-chair of the local Republican Party. He came down and watched the process. He came down and watched us throw out ballots that weren't legal. Don't you think I didn't? Follow the rules. The law says this, and this. If you don't sign it, sorry. If you didn't date it, sorry. If you didn't fill it out properly, sorry. They got tossed because they're not legal. Don't know what to tell you. Follow the instructions. We've been doing this for a couple of years now. It's. I know sometimes our elderly folks get a little confused. Maybe they don't see as good as they used to. I know I have to wear my glasses more and more nowadays. But then ask for help. That's all you got to do is ask for help. And I know that's tough, Election results, yeah. So you can come down to the courthouse. You can watch the whole process. During the day, on election days, it's kind of boring, but they've already got everything opened up. They're cataloged, and then they're brought over by bins, by wards, then they're scanned, and then those get put back on the rack, and they're secured. And then what the real magic is, at 8 o'clock when the polls close, that's the magic. Rules. What are those? I want my own rule. Listen, Darlene, it's your story. You can write your own rules you want. It's your little kingdom. I'm going to turn my fan on. I'll be right back. Yeah, you got your own story. You can write your own rules. And all the rule I ask is you have to have a bowl of M&Ms, because I came in there one day to pick up something, you had a bowl of M&Ms. I came back the next day, you didn't have a bowl of M&Ms. So let's work on that, you know. But so the magic happens when at 8 o'clock the polls stop, the judges shut the machines down. They do all their little typing and all their paperwork. They pull the ticker tapes. They got them today. Okay, I'll stop over tomorrow. Now I can. I'm in meetings tomorrow. Sorry. And then they take the hard drives out of the scanners. They put them in a bag. The bag is closed and sealed. They gather all their stuff. They put it in a little black bag, and they drive it to the courthouse. They come up and they have runners there. There's a lot of bags because there's a lot of voting machines. The bags are taken. They're separated. The paper, the ballots are secured in one area. The hard drives of the scanners are given to the Miss Fernandez. She's in charge, and then they have little boxes, little slots. Every hard drive's got a slot. That was my idea. When they're in, so that way they can go, okay, we have open slot number 12. Where's the hard drive? Well, maybe that voting area is Corey, and it takes a few minutes to get here. So once they get all the hard drives accounted for, hard drive number 1 plugged in the computer, they plug it right in there. It's got a little port, downloads all the information. It gets put into another box. It's my idea. So that way they know hard drive 1 was here, it was scanned, and it's in the done box. We had a little snafu. Last year, they forgot a hard drive. And I said, never again will that happen. This is what we do. We get a box, clearly marked, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the hard drives. That way you have all the hard drives. You transfer it into the little slot, and then and then at the end of the night, you go, we scanned everything. And then they're tallied, and then they're posted. So, you know, it's actually controlled chaos. It is, because they've done this, been doing it a long time, and they had to kind of, as a councilman, while I wasn't a candidate, we're on the board of elections, and we set this tone, and that happened under our watch about a hard drive come up missing, and we said that will never, ever, ever happen again. This is really simple. It's accountability, in process, done. Have someone check your work, make sure that all the hard drives are in. And then, because all the mail-in ballots cannot be scanned until 7 o'clock Tuesday. You can have them opened, because if you know anything about them, there's two envelopes. There's the security envelope and there's the mailing envelope. So we bought cool machines that slice them open. They're all cataloged in the proper wards, but in bins, and they're all there. They're locked down at the end of the night. And then at 7 o'clock, they can open that up. They can open those, go through another opener, slice them open, and then those mail-in ballots get scanned. And I've been in the scanning room before. We watched how it all works. If that mail-in ballot is corrupt, it's fake, it's not there. If it's like ripped and taped or altered in any way, shape, or form, the machine kicks it right out. Will not process it. It has to be hand processed and make sure it's a valid, legal ballot. And then if that's where we get a pile, no signatures, no dates. They forgot to put their information on it, and they get in a pile. We meet as a group. We go through the rules. We look at each one of them, and we agree to keep or toss. I've tossed a lot. I've tossed a lot. So that's how it goes. So that's it in a nutshell. Other than that, we're gonna do. We'll probably do a Saturday night live one because it's so important to get this message out. I was on the Joe Natale show yesterday. That I do that one live on social media also. That way I have a recording of it and it gets posted right on Facebook. So you can go right on my Facebook page and actually listen to the show on talkerie.com. And that's we were going to go do this. We're like, we're going to go to war. Let's go to war. And we're going to do this with the technology. We're going to use it with podcasts. We're going to do it with the radio. I don't need to cheat. I don't need to lie. I don't make stuff up about Mr. Pretzel. I just use his own words. This is like how he feels about hunters. That's why I bought some signs about his and have them on my trailer. And, I have him around the community about his philosophy on hunters, Hi, Kim.
Hello, Brian. How are you and Miss Brenda?
We're doing fine. She's out in the command center, just out there watching everything.
Well, I see a new post by Mr. Rock Copeland that says, we can't afford to have council members on our election board who might later point to the election they just administered and call it fraudulent. Now, why would somebody post that? It makes no sense to me.
Well, was that from Rock Copeland?
Yes.
Well, because he has no clue what he's talking about. I
didn't think so.
I'm going to put my shock face on. Every member of county council, duly elected member, is on the board of elections, and we pick a chairman. Mary Rennie. Well, Mary Rennie was the chairwoman until she quit. Right. So there's no law or rule, anything in the Home Rule Charter or the Administrative Code, our Bible, that says if we're a candidate, we have to step away from the Board of Elections. There's no rule there.
But they threw a temper tantrum.
Because they don't know what they're talking about. They're trying to make themselves sound important. They know what they're talking about. Every duly member of Erie County Council is on the Board of Elections, unless they are a candidate and we just bow out. Now, see, here's the thing. There was a, I'll just call him Sam. I won't mention his last name. He would come to the meetings and he would just be so mad. He would get so irate. He would be spitting. You talk about people spitting on people. He was screaming into the microphone so mad. And he goes, you need to do your due diligence, Shank. You're a candidate. You need to renounce that candidacy. You need to admit you're a candidate and come off the Board of Elections. Well, sir, you're not my dad. I don't answer to you. I'll decide when I decide to announce my candidacy because I haven't even decided yet. Well, they're like, well, you're. I could give a crap less what you Democrats say. Here's the rules. See, right, that guy over there, his name is Tallarico. He is our solicitor. Hey, Mr. Solicitor, is there any law says that I can't be on the Board of Elections and be a candidate? He's like, well, no. And it was a distinct conflict. The state guidelines state very clearly, unless it's a distinct conflict of being on the Board of Elections and being a council person. There is none. We don't touch the machines. We don't download any files. We don't have any passwords for anything there. Unlike, our folks in Philadelphia that walked in with suitcases, we don't walk around with suitcases of ballots. We don't sit there at a table and fill in the ballots because they need more. So when they're accusing us of something, we know they're doing it. And it's plain and simple. Right. So, yeah, that was his bitching. Well, you need to quit. I said, dude, you know what? My theory is anybody can go get a petition. Anybody can walk around and get 10 signatures and let them sit on the kitchen table and not even be a candidate. You don't have to announce your candidacy. I know people who run for office, they don't have to, they don't say a word. They keep it covert, man, because they don't want any shenanigans. So there's no rules or laws. The Democrats and, Mr. I lost my city council race, thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. Which he's not even close on this one. He's not even guessing in the right game. It's not how it works, sir. Pick up the home rule charter. It's online. It's free. I'm assuming the commander in chief, Jimmy Wirtz, has got a copy of it, and go from there. Other than just talking out your backside and making yourself sound smart, because the minute, my theory is, once you have those 10 signatures and you sashay your ass down to the Board of Elections, you hand it to Miss Fernandez, she gives it a seal, and you sign it, now you're a candidate. Anybody can go get, you don't have to go and get them anymore. You just drop them offline. And so, everybody, that means you'd have 50 people if you were that dumb. But, he's trying to make himself look smarter than he is. He's really not. He doesn't get it. I've seen him at like maybe one or two council meetings. He applied for that open seat. We talked about this before. Shows up to take an interview for a county council position. Shows up in cowboy boots and jeans. Man, I didn't realize we were in Union City. I didn't realize we had cowboys in Chicago. They did back in the day, but not anymore. So then it's just. And then
that's all he has.
I don't know. Hey, if that's your gig, you knock yourself out. It's just like I said earlier on the radio. He was walking towards me down the hall, right outside the Board of Elections office. He had his eyes to the ground. He looked up to me and said, "It's up, Brian." And he put his eyes right down. He didn't even have the guts to look me in the eye, because he knows how much shit he's talked about me, and he ain't got the guts to square me, look me in the eye. He
wouldn't even go have coffee with Hope.
Well, of course not. Well, first of all, I know Hope. She'd kick his ass. I'm just saying.
I know Hope too. I'd be scared to piss her off too.
and she's an instructor as an EMLR and EMT. She knows how to hurt you, and she knows how to fix you. So I don't think I want to piss these people off, because this is all these guys are. I've said this from day one. They're keyboard heroes. Mr. Pretzel sits up there on the hill, in the garage chateau, and writes all this shit about me spitting on people, and I'm going to leave the people in District 5 like Mary Rennie did and Kim Clear did. Yeah. But it's funny that it's only fun when they can insert Shank's name into it. So
Well, I guess they must be upset after seeing that we went from pink to bright red, which means all Republican, basically.
We know the numbers. So we know the numbers.
We just got to get out and vote. It takes you, 2 minutes? If you don't want to wait till election day, go down to the elections office. You can vote right now.
You can vote right.
It's so easy.
I know. I think I might actually do that this year. I have a meeting tomorrow. We Pleasant Ridge Manor, and then we have our budget public hearing, because we're not transparent. We don't do anything.
I know. You're all secret behind them doors.
I know. We all secret stuff.
Why did you buy that owl?
Yeah, right. And so I think I might just go in and vote. I don't know. I've never done it. Maybe.
I was going to do it the other day when I turned in my finance report, but I left my ID in the car.
Right. Well, and my thing is, election day for us is busy. I mean, we just got things to do. So
too much to do.
I think I might do that in person. I'll do a cheesy selfie, with my thumb up in the air, doing it, saying, "Listen, it's safe. Tanya Fernandez doesn't bite. Her staff are awesome, and they always have candy."
They are awesome. Tanya is awesome. And you want to know something? She knows that home rule charter better than anyone.
Why do you think we hired her?
I know.
People always ask me, what was your biggest thing? What are you the most proud of? I said, I don't even know how to answer that, because it's the behind the scene victories that we do that are the big wins. Promoting Tanya up, hiring a new clerk, Karen, our new clerk, man, she's a fast learner. She's sharp, and she gets it.
Awesome.
Yeah, she gets it.
Awesome.
You know.
Beautiful inside as well as outside.
Yeah, I mean, she's just it's a pleasure to talk to her. She's one of these people that doesn't have a bad day, and she appears to enjoy your job. And we told her, I said, listen, we're hiring you right before elections. You're gonna come in, get your ID card. Here's your office. Here's your password. I get to work. And she hasn't failed us. It's just like with Tom Spagle, bringing him on there. I wish he could stay. I mean, he's a great asset, but the Democrats hate him. They're like, he just voted with Shank and all his buddies.
Because he's fair. He votes his heart. He does a fair job.
Because he does it because it's good business. You don't think you have 50 employees and have the best pepperoni balls in the tri-state area and you're a schmuck. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. But the problem is...
And a kind heart. He said, Kim, I'll help you with anything once you get elected.
Yeah. I mean, when he ran for mayor, I had met him and we talked and I was like, Tom, I know you're a Democrat. I'm a Republican. I live in the county. If you want, you get me a big sign. I'll run it on the trailer for you. I'll run it all up and around Erie all day long for you. He's like, well, I don't know. The Democrats will probably get mad. Whoops, they'll get mad at you anyway. So, so it's just an issue of we know we're going to have you sitting there. So I'm not even worried about it. Ellen, I'm not worried about her either.
Ellen's got it.
And then I talked about this on my radio show on TalkErie.com. I talked about this. I said the race to watch on the county council, since they're making it such a big deal, it's gonna be Cody and Terry, because that's gonna be a nail biter. I'm not worried about yours because Mary quit. She ain't got chairmanship. I can't do it.
You were crying. You had to get out your crying towel that day when you called me.
Yoy vey. You're mean to me. She ain't got whatever, dude. So then again, using Mr. Pretzel's philosophy, look at Mary Rennie left the people in District 3 high and dry, just left. At least I would have went for another county job if I'm running for sheriff, which I'm not for the 500th time because he keeps posting up there. Shank's running for sheriff. Listen, bro.
No, you're not.
Put the keyboard. No, I'm not doing it.
Your friend that kill you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it was talking about we've got security cameras because we know there's a lot of shenanigans, and Brenda saw Mr. Pretzel walking down our street, and so
street.
Yeah, and it's. Every other house has a Shank sign on it. Even the Democrats. My Democrat neighbor has a Shank sign on it in front of her house. The lovely lady to the north of us. She's a Democrat. She has a Shank sign up there, but she didn't ask for one. So it's just an issue of. She's like, hey, why didn't you come debate us? And she's like, hey, why are you making these attacks on social media personal? Leave the kids out of it. Well, Shank came after me. No, he came after you. He did not come after your wife or your kids. You and your minions have done that. And you guys have stooped to a new low. And I cannot wait to. I don't like to gloat, but Tuesday night when we get that 11 o'clock news interview, I will be gloating very immensely.
I know you will.
Because to spend $40,000 on this, they've spent $40,000 on this seat. That's
I know.
Ridiculous.
I know. It's a county. Even Abby said, "Oh my God!" She goes, "Where did he get that money?" She goes, "To be on ESPN." She goes, "Kim, Wade and I have spent a fortune, and we couldn't even get on ESPN."
Well, because he's got the money. He's got the PAC that he acknowledges, which right on his social media, unless he took it down, he scrubbed it. That he acknowledged it, that this was the PAC, and the
money.
But they did the same.
Dirty money,
right? And see that's one of the big philosophy problems. The D's versus the R. The D's know this, and they exploit it. Is they're better financed? We get it, but that's fine. That's why we call boots on the ground, grassroots type of candidates, and we still win. We don't win them all. Yeah. You can't. But we're doing a good job.
But Jimmy Wurtzow has he had one candidate that since he took over win? No.
Well, this is the guy that sits in his sits in Edinburgh, wherever he lives, and all he does is write shit on other people when he's never ran for an office in his life other than chairman. And I heard he only won that by like 1 or 2 because he's not as well liked as he thinks he is.
But none of his candidates since he took office have won. Not one of his candidates.
Well, I mean, technically Campanelli did. Campanelli won. Faust won controller. So I'm not saying you're wrong, but the obvious facts. Faust won controller, and then Campanelli won sheriff. I mean, those are Democrats, and you look at
Did Jimmy Worst have his position when they won?
I think so. And they look at the gerrymandering they did out here. They had Sonny out here in Harbor Creek for 20 years. Yeah. Alexa, hello. They had Sonny in here for 20 years. Nobody ran against him. No Democrat was dumb enough to run against Mr. Sonny. Sharp guy, great constituents support. And the only way that the Democrats won Harbor Creek was because they gerrymandered it. They changed the lines. They pulled Mirsky out of the city, covered part of Harbor Creek, so the Erie Dem population took him out. And and then he had the name recognition. He has the money. He's got big supporters. That's fine because Erie loves him. Mike Pace ran against him, an honest shot, working guy, machinist. I supported him. I helped him put up signs, whatever I could do to help the guy out. But we knew he was going to struggle because Mirsky has the Democrat machine behind him, and he had the city of Erie Dems pushing him, and they calculated that the Republicans out here would be lazy, and they were. We're mad about the mail-in ballots. Well, then do something about it, bro.
Embrace them, baby.
I don't like them. My mom and dad are getting up there in the years, and it's hard for them to stand around and wait, and that's fine, perfectly fine. It's a good tool. So the numbers have bumped up. We finally, pulled our arses out of our backside and said, okay, fine, but they've got them under control, and I think they're better controlled. I can't speak for Philly. I can't speak for down in Pittsburgh. All I know is in Erie County, we run them tight. And
you did a good job.
We do try, technology, just some physical changing things around, limiting the amount of people, and nobody showing up in trucks delivering mail-in ballots. Because we have the drop box out front. When I was on it last year, myself, Ellen Showerman, and Mary Rennie, we went out to the drop box. It was like 5 minutes to 8. I sat there. I was the official timekeeper. I'm like, okay, 8 o'clock. Locked it, shut it up, emptied the ballot. The guy was running down the street. I got my ballot. Sorry, buddy. 8 o'clock. Doesn't mean 8:05. Doesn't mean 20 after, and then we took him in and we handed him off. So there was no shenanigans, people putting them in the ballot box after 8 o'clock. We emptied it out. We secured it. We handed them off to Fernandez. They take care of them. Have a nice day.
She is not going to put up with any monkey business either.
No.
I love that woman.
Yeah, and that's what I tell people. I said, go down there and watch. Stop.
Right.
Stop being, Rock Copeland and boo-hooing on social media because you don't know what you're talking about. Go down there and watch an election. Watch it happen. And I say the story. I'm not making fun of this lady. This lady is absolutely, I know her. She's a great lady. She's a Democrat. She literally comes down there and watches every election. She has a chair. She sits there right against the glass, and she's looking and looking and looking and looking. And then she pulls out a pair of binoculars, like you would take to the opera to see if anybody's doing any shenanigans. And I was, I won't mention her name on the air. I know who she is. I know her son. Nice guy. But I'm like, man, you take this seriously. She goes, absolutely. So this is a Democrat doing it. It wasn't like, Republicans, we're down here to check out the cheating. No, this was a Democrat making sure that everything is done right. And Cliff Smathers, he came down and watched the process. He watched this. I know we talked about it. He sat there and watched us go through the mail-in ballots, the ones that were questionable, that were not filled out properly, and we tossed. If they're not legal, they get tossed. And and that's why I wanted to make sure I stayed on the board of elections. Mary Rennick, she quit. Terry Scatella quit. I didn't announce my candidacy yet because I wanted to make sure that we had a good chairman to drive this thing, because they're basically just three of them. We wanted to make sure
That's
Charlie Bale,
Bailey, right?
we wanted to make
Most honest man you could ask for.
retired state trooper, played in the sandbox a couple of times overseas. And here's the kick in the teeth. Not really kicking teeth, but Tom Spangel and Charlie Bale were in Afghanistan together.
It's a small world.
And I just want to I told the news reporter, I said, listen, I got a story for you guys. This is history. We have five seated veterans on Native County as we speak.
Yep.
But that's it.
And Charlie Bailey's one of the most honest men I've ever met.
No, Alexa, go ahead and type your question in there. That's what we're here for. Is this a place to ask voting day questions inserting mail-in ballots? We'll just sit here, wait for
and now we got a new clerk as well.
Thank you, Jesus.
She's not going to put up with anything either.
Nope. No,
so,
we got.
I'll let you go.
Yeah.
Somebody else can call in.
All right. Thanks for
I
calling.
gotta tell you, thank you very much. You guys did an awesome job with the voting. I'm very proud of each and every one of you, and thank you very much for all the hard work. Now, is there a council meeting tomorrow evening?
No.
Right.
No. All we have tomorrow, we have Pleasant Ridge Manor, and then we have the hearing.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and make sure you pass on the message. Thank you all very much for all the hard work you do.
Thank you.
It is appreciated.
Oh,
all right.
Just
Bye-bye,
wait.
Brian.
Just wait in January. You'll be taking that oath. You'll be working your booty off.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it and learning a lot.
Okay, cool.
Bye-bye.
So we're here. All right, we got Alexa typing a question in. Her question is, one of my twin sons, who are 19, received this ballot in the mail last week. Now, people get confused. Everybody, the Republicans, Democrats, both do it. They mail out applications for a mail-in ballot. So you have to look at it and really read it. And those have already passed. The 31st at 5:00 was the cutoff for application for mail-in ballots. You could have went down and filled it out, or they could have just went online and filled it out. Oh, okay. I didn't. Sorry, I didn't. She sent me a text. Bear with me. Okay. I sent a photo of the Vitex. What am I sending? Last week. Yeah. I mean, it looks legit. I mean, you as long as you requested it, you should have. I don't know if you did or not. Let me see if township. Yeah. Auditor. Yeah. He never requested mail-in ballot. Why would he receive it? Another, my brother first name voting election. Yeah, because it says official ballot. Did his brother request it? I mean, that's the only thing I can ask. Selection, right? Yeah, because it looks like an official ballot. I mean, it says official ballot on the top. Because I know, like, the Republicans and Democrats. Yes, my wife?
I just wanted to say to Alexa, because it's much easier in, speaking it than texting it.
Right.
Make sure that when her son goes to the polling place to vote, he has to take that ballot with him, or else they will not allow him to vote.
That's a good point. Thank you. Yeah, and that's the gospel. If you have a mail-in ballot, you take it to the voting poll. They will take care of it for you. You could vote in person, or you can just fill it out and take it down to the courthouse, the drop box. I hope they seem to automatically send those. Yeah, I mean, Anna, just to let you know, both parties send out applications. I had an argument with a guy the other day. He sent me a picture of it. He goes, "It's a ballot." No, send me the picture. It was an application for a ballot. Just shred it, use it for, whatever you want to use it for. But yeah, thanks, Brenda. That was a good point.
Yep. And then he needs to let Fernandez know, or someone needs to let them know, that he did not request a mail-in ballot, but received one in the mail.
Yeah, especially with the twin thing, registration thing. It is a computer and it does make mistakes sometimes. But let me take this call, Brenda.
Okay.
You're live.
Hey there.
How you doing?
I figured I would let you know instead of trying to text.
Yeah, no, the problem is you can text it and it's very lagged, meaning I might get it a minute later. So yeah, but yeah, did you hear the call? Brenda called in and said, yeah, if you did receive a mail-in ballot and you didn't ask for it and they're going to vote, take it to the polling station if they're going to vote in person and surrender it. Because if you don't surrender it, they won't let you vote.
Okay, and that was my question, because it says if you go in and vote without this ballot, it is a provisional ballot
Correct.
/ vote.
Correct.
So what does provisional mean?
It's just in a different type of ballot. It gets processed differently. It gets hand processed. Provisional, there's a book on all the different reasons why you get a provisional ballot, but it's very, very simple. Just take the mail-in ballot with you. Say, I've got this. I want to vote in person, and they'll take care of it, and it's done. Unless he wants to fill the mail-in ballot in and go down to the courthouse and drop it in the mail-in box. That's the other option.
No,
but that's a long drive.
He just wanted to make sure his vote was 100% counted, and I wasn't certain on what provisional ballot or vote meant. To make sure he wouldn't go down and just be restricted to one party or another.
No. It's all good. But see,
voting Republican, but
right. No, and this is why we do the show. I do my talk show during the day. I do this at night because people like you and your wonderful husband are doing that crazy thing called working. So that's why we try to do this thing in the evening. But that was a great question. Great points. Brendan cleared up that one area, so that was great. But yeah, just make sure he has that ballot with him when he goes to vote, because it's a whole big to do if you don't. It's just real simple. Just hand it to the nice lady. They'll let you vote. Have a nice day.
Perfect. And Noah is standing here listening to all of this too. It is his mail-in ballot. Noah, say thank you, Mr. Shank.
Thank you, Mr. Shank.
Oh, wow. We got everybody. They got the whole family. That's good. It's a good team effort. We appreciate everything you guys done to help. Thank you. So I hope that answers all your questions.
Very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling.
We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow, that's why we do this show. This is exactly. Thank you that the message is getting out to the people of common sense that work. Was informed that he did. Yeah, and that's another point from Brenda. She says, make sure the election office is informed that he did not request the mail-in ballot also. So don't call down on election day, because they are absolutely up to their eyeballs. But that's something you want to take care of. And they'll look into it. They'll have more time after the election to look at that. It could have been just a computer glitch, or, you filled something out somewhere and, it wasn't supposed to be that way. But yeah, that was an official ballot. And I made sure the most important name on all of it was there, Brian Shank. And speaking of ballots, don't forget, there are 2 sides, okay? 2. I've talked about this before. I made the mistake myself. Make sure that you flip it over because there is a backside to it. And if you don't, there's some really important questions back there, you know, about retaining some judges. We want to make sure we get those right. If you want to know, you want to sample the ballots, just go to my Facebook page. Everything is there. You can still see my website is up and running. You know, hashtag Shank to Tank. We talked about why they call that. The website, REELECT, Brian Shank, reelectbrianshank.com. If you want to know about the watch party, send me a message. I'm not putting it out here on blast. We don't want the haters to show up, but who cares? But we do. It's not a huge venue, so we don't want 1,000 people to show up. We love you all, but make sure the election's not right. So other than that, any last questions, concerns? Get out and vote. Get out and vote. What's the last thing I want to tell you? Get out and vote. Grab your friends, and the Sacco family. Thank you for raising good children that are going to get out and vote, because that is a huge problem we have. In the primary, 20% got out and vote. Only voted as a Republic. Yucky. Those are yucky numbers. So, on that happy note, I think 1 minute and 31 seconds we've been talking. I'm done. Cue up the outro music. Say goodbye to my folks on camera 1 on YouTube, camera 2, Facebook Live. The applications, no, just shred them. All right, everybody, like we always say, peace out. God bless America. Let's think about our troops in harm's way. And Shank is happy.